This is Josh coming to you in an 1,800 square foot house with a roughly 400 square foot cathedral ceiling. So thank you to my returning subscribers. This channel definitely would not be possible without you guys, so I really appreciate that continuous support. Don't be afraid to share any of the videos that you enjoy with your friends and family so that more people can know about my really good attic installation tips and walkthroughs. Quick little recap on attic ventilation. You see these styrofoam vents. So these serve as air intake for the attic. So they bring in fresh air from outside and then it gets pulled out from the top vents that you see here. So that creates a airflow within your attic. So in the summer it brings the hot air, the excess hot air outside, especially due to the fact that most homes have black shingles, and so the radiant heat becomes unbearable in the attic for really hot summer days, going up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. In the winter, it's actually the opposite, where minor heat loss or vapor loss because of little imperfections in the vapor barrier bring vapor into the attic, and so that vapor cannot stay in the attic or mold will build up. And so that's why ventilation is so important in both extreme seasons. This video is going to extend a little bit what I was talking about regarding the tornado damage video. So I've done a couple of empties, and what I've noticed is that there's different kinds of damage depending on how the house got hit. There's some houses that there's only a couple of shingles that got taken out on the roof, and that doesn't seem a lot compared to other houses that have their entire second floor taken out. It's pretty extraordinary and tragic, the type of damage that I've seen at the site. Now, with regards to a couple of shingles, you wouldn't think that that's a lot, but it does let water in. And so some of the attics that I've emptied, there's half of the attic that has a good 1 inch of water that sits underneath the insulation. You can't see it from the surface. You would think that the insulation is dry and okay, but in actual fact, if you dig through, then you will find that there's some water stains and there's just sitting water just above the vapor barrier in the attic. What we do for that is take out the perimeter sheets of insulation, and that way you've got crosswinds that can dry out the attic and prevent further mold and mildew. The other thing is that the top vents of these houses, they're usually black squares. In previous videos, I'm sure you've noticed them and I've pointed them out to you. So those are your roof vents for your moisture that can exit from the roof, as well as any excess heat. So that helps to ventilate your attic. That was completely gone in most homes, and so what happens is they had to cover that hole with Tyvek. And Tyvek is okay for breathability, but it doesn't function like a roof vent, because the roof vents allow a lot of air to exhaust compared to Tyvek. And so what happened was that there was still a lot of moisture inside the attic. It was very, very hot and humid up there, and so when we removed the sheets of insulation on both sides of the attic, that definitely let air cross through and help with ventilation. They didn't have a choice with Tyvek to cover those holes, since there was probably a shortage of those vents because everybody needed them. In the actual site, there was multiple hundred homes that were affected by this F2 tornado. So everybody is looking for the exact same repairs, or very similar repairs. The other thing that I found extraordinary, and again, very tragic, one of the homes had holes on the plywood or OSB on the underside of the OSB, and I was wondering what that was coming from because it looked like holes as big as my fist, and it looked like it was sort of chewed through. But no, in actual fact, the winds, because they were 200 kilometers an hour, the winds had picked up enough, and 2x4s apparently went through the roof and made these holes. There was about 3 of those in that house. That's absolutely insane. So good thing that the alert came out for homeowners to exit into your basement, because you're just thinking about the strength that those debris have that are able to puncture through the asphalt shingles and also the OSB here, right? You need quite a bit of strength to go right through that. But if there is any tornadoes around your area, definitely best thing to do is to get into the basement, anywhere safe. Unfortunately, there were some people that were stuck in their cars. You know, you remain in your car, because if you're outside, you can really get seriously injured with those with that flying debris. We're continuing to remove the insulation from homes that need it. It's definitely going to be quite a bit of work once it gets very, very humid. As people know, the attic gets very hot. There's different types of attics, different pitches of roofs, different types of damage, extent of damage. With that, just check out my other video in the previous week if you haven't done that, which shows an attic that was hit pretty bad, but that still had a roof over it. Take care, and I'll see you next Tuesday.